The UFC pound-for-pound rankings have been updated following UFC 317. Jon Jones is nowhere to be found after announcing his retirement. Ilia Topuria has claimed the #1 spot after his knockout win over Charles Oliveira. Islam Makhachev slides to number 2, with Merab Dvalishvili now sitting at number 3. Alessandro Pantoja also made a big jump, moving up 4 spots to number 5 after submitting Kai Kara France. Khamzat Chimaev attempted to go after Sean Strickland today on X. Khamzat first posted this, showing that he is now in the US ahead of his middleweight title fight against Dricus du Plessis at UFC 319. He followed up with this. He added the wrong Sean Strickland, and he put a middle finger with a couple of laughing crying emojis. The individual that he added responded saying, "The f did I do?" Khamzat replied, "Sorry bro, I don't know how to use Twitter. Wrong guy." Khamzat ended it off by reposting this gif of Sean Strickland marching towards Paulo Costa. Merab Dvalishvili appeared on the Ariel Helwani show yesterday and discussed what it's like sparring with Ilia Topuria. Merab reveals that Topuria has dropped him twice with body shots.
And I sparring with him. He has a great wrestling, great jiu-jitsu. We all know that he hits like...
So were you sparring with him last week when he was here?
No, not last week. Man, I can't spar with him anymore because he hits hard.
He hits too hard.
Yeah, he dropped me 2 times from the body shot.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank God my head is fine.
Yeah.
And then every time I finished sparring with him, I was happy and thank God.
It's over.
It's over. Yeah.
Arman Tsarukyan fired back at Ilia Topuria today. Following UFC 317, Topuria said that he thought Arman looked scared after he saw him KO Charles Oliveira. He said he looked scared. He had a look of shock on his face when he saw the knockout. He was like, "I was going to be the replacement for this fight. Thank God nothing happened to Charles, because this could have been me." He always makes weight when he knows he's not going to fight. But when he knows he's fighting, he tried to make weight and goes, "Oh, my back." Arman responded via X. He wrote, "Running from the real contender only proves one thing. You're scared. Deep down, you know exactly what happens if you ever step in there with me." He then shifted focus to Dan Hooker. He continued on a side note, "Dan Hooker is still a bitch. Just thought that needed to be said." Dan Hooker fired back at Arman. He wrote, "You're a human side note. #1 contender no one gives a f about." Kamaru Usman calls Henry Cejudo out for saying Ilia Topuria should be the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world, and then saying he's not sure if Topuria would be able to beat Arman Tsarukyan moments later.
But my way of thinking changes a little bit with Ilia, because everybody's hot on him. I don't know if he does that with a guy like Arman Tsarukyan, a guy that could wrestle, a guy that could.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
Look at you, flip-flopping, huh?
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Did you not just call him the pound-for-pound #1 best fighter in the world right now?
I did. Not saying that. Not saying that he won't beat him. But I'm not saying that he won't beat him. But what I'm saying is,
well, we start talking about that.
Arman's not. He's a competitor, bro. He's been in there with Islam. He's had a close fight with him. Like, rightfully so. So what do you feel, Kamaru? Do you feel that if the UFC gives this fight to Paddy the Baddy, do you think that's the right thing? And obviously,
well, listen,
Josh is not going to get it, Kamaru. I think we both know that, dude.
Well, listen, it's a mess right now at 155 pounds. It's a mess in the way where, Henry, a lot of different things took place within the last year that created this mess. Then the champion, #1 pound for pound, decides, you know what? I'm tired of being here. I'm leaving. That creates a bigger mess.
Preach it.
So it makes it very difficult to just say, because you got some heat, you could make some noise with this fight, we're just going to move you up to fight. We're going to let you skip.
Jiri Prochazka fired back at Magomeed Ankalaev. Ank posted this on X a few days ago. He wrote, "Breaking news. Alex now asking he want to fight me during Ramadan again. I need more time. And the other clown, he have to do his homework. Let me fight Carlos Olberg. I think he's more dangerous than all of them." Jiri responded today saying, "Hey clown, I finished university. Like you finished elementary school, I hope. And if you don't want me as your teacher now, I'll fight Carlos next." Daniel Cormier still believes that Islam Makhachev would defeat Ilia Topuria. On his YouTube channel, DC posted his reaction to Topuria knocking out Charles Oliveira. He said the kid's very impressive. He's only 28 years old. He's only had 9 UFC fights and he's already a double champion. He's the real deal. Ilia Topuria is a real-life star, man. He really is. I think we're going to be watching this kid for a real long time, as long as he stays the course. He seems to be doing all the right things. As long as he stays the course, I believe he's going to be very valuable and in the championship picture or as the champion at 155 for a long time. I think Islam gets by him, but I think Islam would be one of the greatest challenges he would have because they're both just next level. But right now he seems to be separating himself from everybody. It's just unbelievable. DC also gave his take on Ilia Topuria versus Paddy Pimblett. He continued, I believe that's a great fight. Paddy will have to use his size on Ilia if he wants a chance though, because he is not as good a striker as Charles Oliveira. And you saw what Ilia did to Charles, but you've got to be very careful on the Paddy Pimblett side to make sure you're doing the right things and try to get him down. Charles didn't have much success taking him down. Aljamain Sterling versus Brian Ortega is set for UFC Shanghai on August 23rd. Aljo broke down the matchup on his YouTube channel, admitting that Ortega might have the edge when it comes to grappling. Still, he's confident he'll get the job done, with his sights set on earning a shot at the featherweight title.
I think this is a fun matchup. Two guys that fought for the belt. I became champion, the most title defenses in UFC bantamweight history. And then Brian Ortega, I think he's fought for the belt 2 times now. I think he's a really good grappler. I think I'm just as good of a grappler. I would say he's got the edge in grappling though, like straight, pure BJJ. Now I'm in the mindset of how much striking I've been working. I really would like to show that. But then if we go and grapple, like I've still been putting in a lot of time with my grappling as well. I think that's going to be a really fun fight for the fans to watch. As long as Brian is attacking as well and trying to advance position and not just kind of trying to freeze me out if I do get a takedown, just try to hold the position to make it slow. I think it's going to be some fun grappling exchanges, which the fans are going to love it. I think the fans are going to win. I fully intend to go out there and win this one and continue my path back to the title. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Islam Makhachev's coach Javier Mendez believes Arman Tsarukyan is Ilia Topuria's biggest threat in the lightweight division. In an interview with Submission Radio, Mendez said, I see Justin Gaethje potentially giving him some problems. Arman Tsarukyan would be the one that, in my opinion, might give him the most problems, because Arman's not going to stand with him. Arman's going to make it a grappling war, so it's going to be a war of attrition. Can Ilia survive the continuous ground attack that Arman's going to put on him? That would be the test. Can he do that? I don't know. Maybe he can. Look what he did to Charles. Charles came in for the takedown. He freaking switched it on him in midair. That was very impressive. Mendez then gave his take on who's the tougher fight for Islam between Ilia Topuria and Jack Della Maddalena. He continued, JDM is the tougher one because of number 1, the size, number 2, he's good everywhere. If it was just boxing, then we don't have to worry as much because JDM's boxing is not as good as Topuria's. But overall, his kicking, his knees, his overall game is very good. Merab Dvalishvili's coach Ray Longo appears to agree with Javier Mendez. He also thinks that Arman Tsarukyan would be the toughest fight for Ilia Topuria in the lightweight division currently.
Oh, look, I was confused by Paddy Pimblett getting in the cage, like totally confused. I don't know where he got injected into that, but I think that the toughest fight for Ilia would be Tsarukyan.
Yeah,
and I think that's a fight everybody look. I think after what he did to Charles, everybody would love to see. And I've been calling for that fight, Topuria against Islam at 55, if that's a possibility. That is the fight. If that's not the fight, I mean, as far as tough fights and worthy challenges, I'd go with Tsarukyan. And that's not an easy fight either, so it's an easy.
Chael Sonenn thinks it was a mistake for the UFC to not put the BMF title on the line when Ilia Topuria fought Max Holloway. Chael says Topuria should have 3 belts right now.
There was a mistake made, and the mistake was made to put Ilia in there with the reigning BMF champion and not to put up the belt. That son of a bitch should have 3 belts right now, and we're having a totally different talk if he does. The marketing and the posters are totally different if we had that, but we got to follow it to the T, and the belt's either up or it's not. And I only share that as, yeah, this is absolutely unbelievable. He didn't just beat up 3 killers. I mean, but the way the story gets told about Max, everybody likes Max and respects Max, and we know how great he was. There's more to it. He was the reigning BMF champion. Ilia Topuria should have had 2 over his shoulder and 1 around the waist, and I really do think that was an error. I'm glad that error is not going to be made the next time Max fight. I'm glad they're making him put the belt up. If you got the belt, it's got to be on the line.
Israel Adesanya ran into Jan Blachowicz over the weekend. He told Jan that he's looking to fight Sean Strickland next.
Oh, Big Jan, how you, sir? How you? Good, you? I'm very well. Easy. I go see Kai. You well? What's up? I'm good. Wait, who's your next fight? I don't know, end of the year. Me too. I'm trying to find Strickland, bro. We'll see. Easy. You look good, brother. Good to see you, man. Proud of you.
Paddy Pimblett did not hold back when discussing Charles Oliveira's performance against Ilia Topuria over the weekend. On the Versus podcast, Paddy said he likes Charles, but was shocked by how stupid some of his decisions were during the fight. He called the performance embarrassing.
I really like Charles, but what the was that game plan, lad? You know what I mean? Stand in front of him and get punched in the face. First 20 seconds he did a little bit, teeped him, leg kicked, and I was thinking, oh, we could be in for a tough night for Topuria, and then Charles got it once and just started swinging with him. But when he was walking out, I did turn to Graham and say, he looks nervous. Yeah. And when Ilia walked out, he was just smiling. I don't know what, as I say, I'd love to know what their game plan was, because that was just, like, it was half embarrassing. What are you doing, just standing in the middle and swinging punches with him when he's a top-class boxer and he's got power? It's just, it blew my mind at how stupid he could be after it was his 47th pro fight. Yeah. And he was going in there like an amateur.
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's in reference to Daniel Cormier's car getting stolen at the San Jose airport while he was commentating UFC 317 in Vegas. It says, plot twist, John Jones stole the car. The second one's in reference to Dricus du Plessis possibly leaking that Paddy Pimblett is fighting Justin Gaethje in the co-main event of UFC 319. It says Paddy versus Gaethje for #1 contender seems like a banger of a fight. And the final one's in reference to Sean Strickland storming into the cage at Tough Enough and throwing punches at a fighter who was taunting him after submitting his teammate. It says that guy got lucky they separated Sean away from him because he was about to jab him to a decision there. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.